What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I'm gonna check out 10 moves that shorten WWE wrestlers' careers. Now, we know over time doing some of these moves, it has wear and tear on your body. The more you do this every week for 20 plus years, the more that it causes some type of pain to your body, man. That's just how it is. Our bodies aren't meant to be taking multiple bumps over and over and over and over again, and it results a lot of time in these wrestlers have to, when their career is done, sometimes the injuries compound so much that they are forced to retire. But when they do decide to retire, they usually have to get some type of surgery to have some type of comfort when it comes to having a normal day-to-day life. So we're gonna check out some of these moves that have ultimately caused wrestlers to have shortened WWE careers, or potentially have to have some type of surgery to deal with the pain. And that's why you give the respect to these wrestlers out there that put their bodies on the line for 20 plus years, just to entertain us and give us a show. It's something to appreciate and show love to. So let's get right into this one. Should be a good one, man.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh,
10 moves WWE wrestlers use that shorten their careers. Number 1, the leg drop. The leg drop as a finisher was popularized by Hulk Hogan, and we've seen the move used in various ways throughout the years. However, it doesn't matter if it's on the top rope or a basic leg drop on the ground. This move is notorious for killing the backs of wrestlers performing it. A big reason that Hogan can barely walk today is because of his finishing move. Hogan has stated his regrets over having the atomic leg drop as his finisher, as he's noted the damage it's done to his hips, lower back and pelvis, and the multiple surgeries he's had to go through just to be free of pain. But Hogan isn't the only man who suffered the effects of the leg drop. Matt Hardy is also known for the high-flying move, with one of his most infamous moments being him hitting a leg drop off the top of a steel cage.
I want y'all to understand, my man was at the top of the steel cage, hit a leg drop. That means all that force compounds right onto his lower back, onto his spine. That's insanity. And he was doing this all the time, not from that height, but he was doing these death-defying moves all the time. Him and Jeff. Crazy.
In 2005. Hardy eventually stopped using the move for the same reason that Hogan did. It messed up his lower back and pelvis. In fact, Matt had to get surgery as his lower back began to fuse with his pelvis.
Whoa.
It doesn't matter if you're a cruiserweight or a heavyweight. The leg drop has been proven to be an unsafe maneuver, and surprisingly, it isn't banned even though we know the long-term effects of it. Number 2, the headbutt. We can't have this move on the list without addressing the elephant in the room, Chris Benoit. The tragedy of Chris Benoit and his family rocked the wrestling world, and when it was revealed that this incident was likely caused because of Benoit's history of concussions, WWE immediately banned the diving headbutt. The dangers of this move are quite obvious, as there's a huge risk of head-related injuries that could permanently harm a wrestler. With how stiff wrestling is these days, it's not uncommon to see moves like a brainbuster or pile driver, but when you take into account the amount of house shows WWE has, moves like the diving headbutt become extremely dangerous for the performer who consistently uses this high-risk maneuver. However, it isn't just a flying headbutt that's dangerous. Katsuyori Shibata came close to retirement following his Genesis match against Kazuchika Okada after his headbutt cracked his skull. The AEW star discovered that he had a subdural hematoma, which many didn't think he would ever recover from. The headbutt isn't used regularly these days, and for good reason. It's a self-inflicted move that could go wrong in more ways than one. Number 3, the dive to the outside.
Very dangerous.
In the name, so it's not surprising that this risky move has more impact on the performer. When the dive connects, it usually is safe and painless, as part of the move requires the opponent to catch the wrestler doing it, but performing the move is the real trick. Lita almost broke her neck in her infamous main event match against Trish Stratus in 2004.
Crazy spot.
Other examples when superstars have either undershot the dive, resulting in the wrestler's head and neck hitting the floor first, or a wrestler can overshoot the dive and unexpectedly crash.
Bro, Chris Benoit ran at 200 miles an hour to jump through those damn ropes and crashed and burned on the edge of the announce table. That is crazy speed. It reminds me, obviously, if y'all watch Monday Night Raw, of fucking Braun Breaker running full speed around the ring, chest first, into the edge of the announce table. It's definitely giving me that vibe. Like, you gotta fully commit, and he committed and crashed and burned.
Into something like a barrier or an announce table.
Oh.
All high-flying moves are risky because wrestlers can't control
Oh.
gravity, but the dive seems like the move that most wrestlers have the hardest time perfecting. Number 4, Rack Attack, Nikki Bella. Now you would think that a move called the Rack Attack would be sexy and painless, but it's a big reason that Nikki Bella was forced to retire. The
Didn't know
finish
that.
itself was a drop-down neck breaker, which was a cool move that stood out from the rest of the women's roster, but the strain of having someone's entire weight on your shoulders did more harm than good, especially to Nikki's neck.
Didn't know that.
Even once a week sounds hard enough, but what if you had to do it 5 times a week? Now, this is where WWE's hectic schedule came in, as it was a combination of the move and the numerous times she had to use it that caused the disc to push on the spinal cord, which allowed excess fluids into the central nervous system. Nikki got the surgery and changed her finisher when she returned, but the damage was already done. She was forced to retire because of the constant neck injuries that flared up. The Rack Attack may have been a great finisher for the former WWE Divas champion, but it's doubtful that Nikki would have ever chose that move in the first place if she knew that the damage it would do to her career. Number 5, Shooting Star Press.
I didn't even know that.
Shooting Star Press is one of the prettiest moves ever created.
For sure.
However, as Beyonce once said, pretty hurts. Invented by WWE Hall of Famer Jushin Thunder Liger, the move has gone through several evolutions throughout the decades.
Beautiful.
For a long time, WWE had a permanent ban on the maneuver because the risk far exceeded the reward. The Shooting Star Press is a move that needs to be perfect. One slight miscalculation can break the performer's neck or even crush a rib.
Yeah.
From Billy Kidman's spectacular Shooting Star Press fail to Steven Regal on Nitro to Brock Lesnar's painful highlight reel at WrestleMania 19, it's astonishing that numerous careers haven't ended because of this popular move.
It's very dangerous. The margin for error is so small. If you miss the landing, you could hurt yourself. You're not trying to hurt the person you're hitting the move on intentionally. That can be an issue. You know, maybe your knee hits them if you overshoot it or whatever the case is. It's a lot that can go wrong with this particular move, but it is a beautiful move when it is actually hit.
Number 6, Swanton Bomb.
Of course.
Have you ever noticed how Jeff Hardy changed the way he used the Swanton Bomb? The former WWE champion revealed in 2018 that he had to change the way he used the move to protect his own body. The Hardys don't move the way they did in the 90s and early 2000s because they were Team Extreme. Jeff was the daredevil who did all types of crazy aerial maneuvers, but the Swanton Bomb was a finisher that he used in every one of his matches.
Beautiful
However,
move.
That move took its toll on his lower back, and it's a big reason why he limps around the ring these days. Now, the thing is, the current version of the Swanton Bomb looks more devastating than the ones he hit during the Attitude Era, so it's definitely for the best that Jeff Hardy puts all his weight onto his opponent. There's no doubt that Hardy slowing down is a result of the insane dives he's done throughout his years. Jeff isn't diving off ladders and steel cages every week. Guys like the Hardys are reminded that as fun as it is to watch the high flyer daredevil type wrestler, their career span doesn't last long unless they slow down their risk-taking moveset.
For sure.
Number 7, Missile Dropkick. Now it's interesting how the simplest move in professional wrestling turned out to be one of the most dangerous. The dropkick is a move that almost every wrestler uses. The move itself isn't particularly devastating to the receiver, however, just like the leg drop, this can have long-term effects on the performer's back. The missile dropkick requires someone to jump in the air and land on the mat once it connects with their opponent. When a dropkick is used here and there, then the move is rather harmless. As it
That's
hasn't
crazy
in
seeing the
WWE
Big Show
career.
do a
But for former
dropkick.
Superstar Maven, he recalls the pain he was in the night he performed the simple wrestling move. That was the defining move that Maven was known for, but it ended up causing him to have arthroscopic surgery on his right leg.
Oh, wow.
About performing the dropkick, but gravity is not your best friend, and the long-term effects of the missile dropkick definitely prove that. Number 8.
And here's the thing, like I said, to us as the fan, the move looks simple, doesn't look too crazy, right? Cool. But to the person that's been doing it for so long, over time, a simple drop kick and you land it on your back and you've done it so many times, eventually it starts to hurt. Eventually, you may end up messing up your spine, the alignment of your spine, because once again, your body's not supposed to be dealing with this type of force and trauma on the regular. there's really no off season for wrestlers. Now, you know, they allow them to have more breaks and stuff like that, which is awesome. But there is technically no off season. So they're going majority of the year, you know, putting their body on the line to entertain us. So
The Moonsault. Shawn Michaels broke his ribs with an Asai Moonsault at WrestleMania 24. Cody
Oh
Rhodes
my
suffered
gosh.
a small fracture in his big toe after performing a moonsault from the top of the cage against
Oh.
Wardlow. Sami Zayn's career almost came to a screaming halt when he botched a single springboard moonsault against Kevin Owens
Oh.
at Battleground 2016. The moonsault is used more frequently because the move isn't as complex as a shooting star press. However, it's caused more injuries because of the trajectory of the move is so unpredictable. Again, this is another case of high risk, high reward. But there's also a reason that a moonsault is used regularly by anyone. Kurt Angle is a prime example of this, as the Olympic gold medalist will go down as one of the best wrestlers to ever step in the squared circle.
oh, for sure.
2005 Kurt Angle was vastly different from 2018 Kurt Angle, and the moonsault was a good reason for that. Though Kurt was more of a technical wrestler, he wasn't afraid to pop out the moonsault in big matches. The problem was that Kurt was rather inexperienced in using the aerial move. The first time he used it, it resulted in him breaking Bob Harley's arm. The moonsault got better over time in terms of being safer, but there were plenty of notable botches.
The elevation he gets on that is just ridiculous. And once again, that's if you're not supposed to hit the opponent, you're just supposed to crash and burn. All of this is just toe up. Jeez. This is why they called him Perk Angle. Because my man was out there in constant amount of pain, perked up to deal with the pain, and was giving you classics in TNA and in his later years in WWE before he went to TNA, because he couldn't feel the pain no more. He was just like, fuck it. That's insane.
That severely impacted his body. Number 9, the RKO. Have you ever noticed the change in the RKO? It's very subtle, as Orton used to do the RKO with one arm, but now he does it with two. The change was due to it making it safer for Orton's shoulders and back.
Yeah.
Orton's career-threatening back injury is no strange coincidence. While it's likely due to years of constant traveling and wrestling every week, the RKO is a big component of his recent injury. Orton himself has expressed regret over the way he's used the RKO and wish he could go back in time and change his finisher. I jump as high as I can, grab the guy's neck, and come crashing down to the mat. I've been doing it for a very long time, and I kinda wish I could go back in time and create a finishing move that didn't entail me jumping as high as I can and landing on my back. After doing that a couple of thousand times over the last few decades, I'm starting to feel it. The RKO is the perfect finisher for Orton, but it would have been understandable if he had changed it. As great as the move is, it would have been a shame to see his career end based on something that helped him become a true megastar.
And here's the thing. Orton, that young legend killer, Randy Orton, he used to jump as high as he could. I always bring up this RKO because it's arguably one of my favorite ones when pretty much the baby faces had took over Monday Night Raw because they were tired of Evolution. This is after Randy Orton had got kicked out. So some of the baby faces had took over Raw. They were tired of Evolution, and all of them were hitting their finisher on Triple H at the time. And y'all remember when they finally raised up Triple H, Randy Orton's right in his face, and he legitimately jumped up in the air. He was horizontal. He was horizontal to where Triple H's head was. That's how high he jumped, and hit a beautiful RKO. And he was doing that on the regular. So I can understand over time jumping up that high. Such a beautiful move. But as your body gets older, hey, those RKOs that you was jumping from the heavens, it start to catch up to you, man.
And number 1, the Frog Splash. Now, the Frog Splash is perhaps the second most used high-flying move behind the Moonsault. When done correctly, the Frog Splash looks like a devastating move that hurts the performer and the receiver.
It does.
In reality, the performer was the only one who suffered the crippling effects. Guys like Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam protected their opponents by using their elbows and knees to guard from full contact from the belly. Eddie Guerrero dislocated his left elbow in his very first WWE match because of how awkwardly he used the frog splash.
You can see
Remember
it.
that Guerrero's use of the frog splash became extremely painful over time, and Eddie's painkiller addiction got worse because of it. There's been nothing to confirm that statement, but it has been proven that the frog splash takes a massive toll on the wrestler's body.
For sure.
Imagine landing on your knees and elbows for over 300 days a year. Even worse, making one mistimed mistake can hurt
my
both you and
God.
your opponent. There doesn't seem to be much upside when using the frog splash, and that's evidently in today's WWE landscape.
It's not, bro. The upside is The fans enjoy it. It looks beautiful. It's a cool move to see. The downside is the people that are actually doing it. Like Montez Frog Splash, we just saw, he gets so much elevation, bro. It's ridiculous.
As it's not used as much in the company.
Look at
apart
that.
from Montez Ford using it.
Yeah.
But there you have it, folks. 10
And even when he hits it, it looks like it's fucking killing him. Like I said, much respect to these wrestlers out there and all these companies, man. They're giving us entertainment at the expense of their bodies being destroyed, essentially, just to, you know, have a memorable match, man. Comment down below. Let me know, what move do you feel like, if it wasn't already listed in here, because there's plenty of moves that look devastating to do and receive, what move do you feel like is also, you know, could have been in this list that shortens careers if it wasn't already listed here? But I appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking with me. See you on the next one. Peace.